Hello, Merry Christmas. No, I don't know why I said that. Merry Christmas for 2021. Merry Christmas. It's the Eminem show. I mean, the Eminem special of this show. This has been a long time coming. Been 11 years in the making. Well, no. Boy, oh boy. I'm going to be doing a few podcasts about Eminem, and I know all you Zoomers out there are like, Eminem, more like Phlegminem. No, Zoomers wouldn't say that. Zoomers don't say phlegm. I didn't even know what phlegm is. I have phlegm right now in my mouth. But on this episode here, I'll be talking about Relapse, which is an interesting album for me. I quite like it. It's good. It's got some good points, some bad points, mostly good. As I was going to say, as it usually goes with Eminem albums, that's not true. He's a very mixed bag. That's why he's interesting to talk about. As for Relapse, look, here's the issue. It came out in 2009. It came out in It came out in May 15th, 2009, right? Okay, whoop-de-doo. Oh, for fuck's sake, why is this doing it? Go to the track list. It came out 11 years ago, and I'd never listened to it until this year. I'd listened to every other Eminem album, every single other one, apart from Infinite. But I never gave this a shot, and in fact, I even prejudicedly said that it was his worst album, even worse than Revival. Oh, shame on you, David. Shame on you. Shame. Oh, I'm a rickety old woman. Shame. Yes, indeed, Grandma. I do feel bad, and I am coming here now to atone for my sins, or whatever. And to... Not a lot of people are really going to back Eminem. It's just... Yeah, understandably. And I'll get around to some of his later albums later. But Relapse, core blimey, 11 years ago. So 11 years ago, would it have been 11? I mean, it's closer to 12 now. But the thing is that when the singles came out... Now, I remember the singles. I remember each of them. I don't remember them coming out in this order or whatever. Because, back then I was a big Eminem fan. I bought all his albums, and apart from Infinite. And I was really excited for him to make another one. It's been 5 years, and I'm like, oh, geez, what's Eminem doing? Sitting on the couch, twiddling his thumbs. Is that all he's doing? Playing Xbox? That would be the twiddling the thumbs. No, it seemed like it was something else. But anyway, I didn't care. I just wanted to do Eminem. And then these new singles came out, and I was just like, I don't like them. Fuck it. And I didn't feel too disappointed. I was just like, oh, it's a musician or band that I like. They're not releasing good singles. Oh, well, fuck them. And so I didn't listen to the album. And so that kind of shows how singles can really ruin a fucking album. I hate singles. I hate the idea of them, the concept of them. I mean, it makes sense. I just don't like that people just listen to singles and nothing else. They don't listen to the album. Because this is a very, very obvious example of an album where the deep cuts, all of the deep cuts, are better than the singles, I think. I mean, look, my favorite tracks on this album are definitely not the singles. But if we look at the singles, so we had Crack a Bottle. Good title for the song, I guess. But first of all, it's an ugly sounding song. It's just, there's so much of the production on this album I want to get into that just sounds so ugly. It's just it's really like, maybe I'll talk about this later in a different podcast. But Eminem's production has gotten better, but I think perhaps the production of rap in general has gotten better, or at least kind of smoother. It has more of a glacial kind of feel. It's not quite as what am I trying to say? There's what would you say? Because it's a lot of mids, I think, going on now. You could say, maybe I'm bullshitting, but it doesn't seem like there's such a disparity between, I don't know, the highs and the lows, or at least different parts of the instrumentals, like, you know, having such like a kind of kickbacky kind of instrumental, but then having these really fucking highly mixed claps or snares or whatever. So you got like a, you're like, yeah, this is chill, but then it's also accompanied with like so maybe I don't know if that happens within the trap community with trap hip hop because of the hi-hats or that. Anyway, yes, this Crack a Bottle, you know, kind of an ugly song. I guess I wouldn't have cared that much back in 2009 when I was 18 or 17. In fact, this was the year that I left the year after high school. So I was all like kicking back, like, yeah, I got nothing to do except do a fucking bridging course to get into uni. And that sure went far. Anyway, so Crack a Bottle, I take, didn't really affect me then, and it doesn't affect me now. It is a kind of, I mean, it does have a little bit of a celebratory feel to it. Like, certainly. But I mean, Eminem, you think back on his like first singles on his other albums, like actually all of his albums, like My Name Is, The Real Slim Shady, Without Me, and Just Lose It. They're all very much like kind of funny, humorous, pretty much completely unserious songs, kind of about himself, about his life, about how the media treats him, or how his fans treat him, or how he has a sort of his own place in the music industry or the music world. And I like all those songs quite a bit more than Crack a Bottle. They just have something a bit more concrete to them. They have funnier lines, funnier bars, and, you know, really better messages. There's no real message in Crack a Bottle. And there could have been, because this Crack a Bottle is, as you can see from the album cover, the whole album is about Eminem's struggle with prescription pills. So Crack a Bottle, which I don't know, could have been like crack out the last bottle, like your one last drink before sobriety and all that kind of thing. Because Eminem had been sober since April 20th, 2008. So, and obviously from what I hear, he had made all of these songs on this album while sober, apart from Beautiful, which we'll get into. But Crack a Bottle, particularly, it's kind of just, I don't know, a bit more braggadocious, a bit more throwaway than like his other songs. So, and then you also have Dr. Dre on there. And I had actually heard the original demo version of the song just recently, though, where M rapped out Dre's verse. I'm not sure who wrote it. It sounds like Dre, because it's just like, yeah, I'm in that low rider, driving by bitches, drinking 40s or whatever. And none of it's really to do with prescription pills, I believe. Not from what I remember, even though I only just heard it again just recently. But yeah, and I mean, kind of Dre being wasted and wasting up the song, and 50 Cent in particular. 50 Cent sucks. God damn, he sucks. I mean, I guess I liked him from like 2003 to 2005, and that's it. It's like, I'm 16 years old, I've outgrown 50 Cent, so him sounding like he does not give a shit, as usual. He just, every time he raps, he's just like, oh, I hate it when he gets into that flow, which is what he does at the very start of his verse on this. I got the low rider, going past the bitches, yeah, my 40. That kind of sounds like 50, but it kind of doesn't. Anyway, yeah, he kind of takes up too much of the song. I mean, Eminem only has one fucking verse. Maybe he wrote Dre's, I don't know, but it's kind of a throwaway song. It's like very not good. It's not good. So I guess I didn't care about that. And from what I remember, then the second single was We Made You. I remember this being the... Nah, maybe I'm wrong. I think I did hear Crack a Bottle first. And I was like, I don't like it. And then We Made You came out. And again, I'm like, I don't like it. Again, it's... I should bring up lyrics, I guess. But We Made You, again, a very ugly song. Like, even uglier than, like... what am I thinking of? Just Lose It, I guess. Just... It's a bit all over the place. It's like... Again, it does feel like that, what I was just saying, like a song, like a comeback song. Hey, I'm back. Guess who's back? Do-do-do. I shit in my pants. Trying to be funny and that kind of thing. I like it more. I do like it more. I mean, M has all of the verses. There are some funny moments. Again, not really like rapping about anything sort of concrete or inspiring or anything. Kind of just uh, playing around with the rhyme schemes, and that sort of thing. So it kind of seems like he's just kind of practicing and practicing quite well. I mean, of course, Eminem's like quite the lyrical, miracle, spiritual, a lyrical craftsman for sure. You know, he does well, even though you can do a lot with little, as I think a number of rappers have shown. Like Kanye. Kanye can sometimes just be like, none of us would be here without come. Not, yeah, not the best flow, but good lyrics. And I guess as Eminem kind of feels the need to do like a lot of topical references that are outdated now, of course. I mean, I'm looking at this and it's like Sarah Palin. There's Ellen DeGeneres. Obviously, if he was to rap about her, it would be different now. He's rapping about like Jessica Simpson, isn't he? Yeah, she's like, yeah, what are you really talking about? You're just bringing them in, you know. Before it was Michael Jackson. Had Michael Jackson... No, I guess he wouldn't have died whilst this was in recording. And I don't think Eminem really... Yeah, anyway, like, yeah, and I think this goes across the whole album. Like, his attacks on celebrities aren't quite as good. They're a little reiterative. It's kind of like, you already made fun of this person. You already made fun of Christopher Reeves. Like, you're just doing it again, but in a more sober way. So that's 2 songs in a row with kind of like nothing to them. And then we had 3 a.m., which I think was the first time that I kind of started to notice the weird accent. I mean, it's worse on different songs, but with 3 a.m., it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't know, not quite an accent, but kind of adjusting the way he speaks. Because Eminem said, like, for him to make things rhyme and to have things sound a bit more, not so much rhyming, but like words sounding similar as you're rapping them out. That's what he did. That's why he's like, I don't like that chorus. I make fun of it all the time, but it's just like, bodies all over the floor. I guess I must have killed him. What are you doing? I killed him. Why you gotta say it like that? But I guess back then I listened to the song and I didn't like it so much, and it does have production issues and just issues of Eminem. But I do think the verses are quite good. It's pretty good. Well, it's good horrorcore. I mean, we're going to be getting into that with this album. You can't do that with all Eminem albums because he kind of ditched horrorcore a little bit. Even with his latest album, which is called Music to Be Murdered By, which starts off with him murdering someone, and then you're like, yeah, all right, he's going to be doing horrorcore again, rapping about killing bitches and all that. It's like, nope, he's just rapping about killing it on this verse. Oh, he's killing these bars. He's like spiritual, lyrical... Oh, he raps so quick. Oh, look what he's rapping about. Flapkins, napkins. Too many napkins, shapkins. Yeah. Eminem, what are you doing? Okay, back to 3 a.m. I mean, yeah, the horrorcore elements in the lyrics, in the verses, are quite good, and they seem to even build up the tension as it goes along, as he does kind of paint a picture in your head about you then being chased through, even in the music, like it starts amping up a bit with this, as it kind of feels like everything's kind of being tightened together at the end of this track. So I got no real complaints, like with, not the best that he's done and not the best horrorcore even on this album. I think looking back on it, looking back, I guess I didn't like it back in the time. I only listened to it once, but I can listen to it again. It's not so bad. Okay, then the 4th single, the final single, which I guess I listened to it after it came out after the album. Beautiful. I think I remember listening to this as well and just not being impressed at all. And I think again, looking just like 3 a.m., the lyrics are good. The verses are really good about him, again, painting a picture about his depression, about feeling like he's in a slump, and that I think this was the first song he made for this album. Because like I said, it's the only one he wrote or even recorded while not sober. I feel it's the first one he wrote. I don't know, because did he do a demo? I don't know. But the verses are quite good, like him talking about like that he might not even want to do rap anymore, and then what was it like about people being like a kiss ass to him, and that he just feels like, you know, he's felt this way all of his career, but he like doesn't need someone to just pat him on the back in an ingenuine way. But he also feels like that he's kind of helpless and he doesn't really know what really to do. And it's not really like a completely mopey song. It isn't really just kind of like a cry for attention, and he just tries to add maybe not a little bit of humor, but a little bit of levity. I'm just looking at the third verse now, and this is kind of when he goes back into his past and like dreams of becoming like a big star. And obviously now it's like he's lived that now, and it wasn't what he thought. This is a bit reiterative for Eminem, but he's telling it in a different way. He's phrasing it and contextualizing it in a new way. So I think it's good. I think the verses are good. This is the longest song, I think. It's like 6.5 minutes, and it's what's like, I feel like there's like a rock song sample that like kicks it off right in the beginning. Maybe that's a sample of some sort. I don't know. Whatever it is, it sucks. It stinks. What's it like? Lately I've been thinking, I've been too long on my own. Everybody has a private. I mean, it applies thematically. And there's the chorus, which, I will listen to the song again. Sure, I will listen to it whenever I feel like it. And I will always skip that and the chorus. And the end, I guess. The chorus just stings. He's like, don't fuck all them. Oh, you're beautiful. Don't give a fuck. Don't matter where the fuck you been. Fuck your dad. You're beautiful. Who are you? Christina Aguilera? I mean, really, and you made fun of her before. And now you're saying the same shit that she did. It's a shame on you. Shame. Yeah, so that really sucks. I mean, look, let's just sing it right here. Don't let him say you ain't beautiful. Oh, wait, no, this is Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. It's the same lyrics. They can all get fucked to stay true to you. I would have preferred Eminem cut the music every time the chorus comes in, and it's just the sound of him having diarrhea. Taco Bell diarrhea. It would have been more emotionally compelling. And I don't like oh god damn it. The bridge comes back. It's the chorus, then you got that shitty rockstar bridge, then you got the outro where he's like, yeah, God gave you shoes to fit, yeah, put them on, be yourself, man, be proud. Then he says, even if it sounds corny, never let no one tell you you ain't beautiful. Yeah, it does sound corny, and I don't know what to think. Like, is Eminem better on drugs or off? It seems like better on. Although maybe he just had, as people do, like they burst onto the scene like with a lot of talent and energy, and then they kind of just lose it, even if they don't think they do. As Eminem keeps thinking, he's like, fuck you all, I'm the best. I'm the king god. I'm the rap god. I'm the rap god. Alright, so those are those singles. Yeah, I got mixed feelings about Beautiful, but it's got good shit. As in good lyrics. And obviously this is one of the clear criticisms of this album, that the accents. You'd be like, I don't know, it wasn't quite like that. I do feel like the accents, were a bit off-putting. They're not really in the singles so much. I'm just remembering, I think I listened to Bagpipes from Baghdad back in the day as well on YouTube, just to be like, all right, what's this song like? And again, I was like, this song sucks as well. I probably didn't even listen to it all. But that was one that has like, that has two terrible accents. One's Middle Eastern at the beginning and end, where he's like, oh, listen to the music. It's like music to my ears. Because there's like kind of a Middle Eastern vibe going on in the music. Like, whatever. I don't know if people are going to be like, oh, cultural appropriation. Oh, it was racist. Like, it's just annoying. It's just Eminem, like, I thought you were off the drugs. If this is you off the drugs, what the fuck are you on the drugs? Oh, wait a minute, you made all these great albums. Well, I don't know what's going on. And then, I think worse, is where he has this nasally voice in the chorus where he's going, oh, what's going on? Hang on, I gotta pinch my nose to do it. What's going on in this world today? What's going on between us? And then it's also behind this, like, what do you call it? I don't know how to put it, like a demo-ish, or like he's talking through a phone, rapping through a phone. Again, the chorus is terrible in this song. I mean, as for the music in this particular song, seems to be that he's like delving into the story of him and Mariah, and it's like, oh, who cares? But you know what? I don't think he even cares, because he kind of doesn't talk about it too much. But unlike other songs on this album, he's being elusive, but not like he's kind of lost the plot and has forgotten what he's even rapping about. He's forgotten like what this song is about. You know, when you listen to a song, even a rap song, even a funny rap song, it could be about a specific thing, and that's what the rapper is supposed to revolve the whole song around. But like then you start singing about something else. And at least he's sort of getting into it and kind of exposing the emotions behind him and Mariah and that whole fucking thing, whatever. In a funny way. Again, he's being funny. And again, the verses are good, the production isn't so great, and the chorus is terrible. So you're kind of getting like 2 minutes worth of good material out of each song. Alright, sounds like I'm being really negative on this album. I feel like I am. So how about, let's go. Okay, so when I gave this album a shot for the first time earlier in the year, I think it was around about, I guess, the midway point of this album, I started to think, or even before then, I started to think, I fucked up. This is quite a good album. But the earlier songs are the best. I mean, you have 3 a.m., not a bad opener really for this album right here, kind of setting the tone pretty well as well. Being like, yo, I'm back and I'm gonna fucking kill you, slice you up and dice you up and do. And then we get into, you know, not so much horrorcore, but just kind of fucked up material. My Mum, the third song of this, pretty good. Pretty fucking fantastic, actually. I mean, it's a really good continuation of Eminem's beef with his own mum. And it's like, I think he starts off the song saying like, oh, I know you're all tired of me hearing me talk about my mum. Whoa, whoa. And it's like, yeah. But this song, and it makes me think, like, not everything on this album is true that he sings about, obviously, but your mum did this to you then? For real? Okay, that's fucked up, and no wonder you pissed off at her. So, rapping about how his mum would drug him, and it's like sprinkling a little bit of Xanax or whatever into his potatoes, and that kind of thing, and him getting buzzed off it and getting sick, and really, not in a mopey way at all, in a pretty humorous way, but still very real, delving into this kind of pretty disturbing aspect of his childhood, of his life even, that he's never really gotten into. He hasn't really talked that much about this on other songs about his mum, like Cleaning Out My Closet or whatever else. So, yeah, this is a pretty good continuation. Let me see about the lyrics. And I do particularly like the second verse where he kind of raps as his mum, and which I think he's kind of done before, but like this one is kind of really getting into it and really showing his mum to be like a real fairly awful person, kind of not really protecting her son at all, and also getting into other things like child support. Your father, he ain't sent the shit, and so what if he did? It's none of your dang business, kid. like the other kind of fuckeries going on as well. And I also do like the third verse, kind of a back and forth a little bit between him and his mum. He's trying to, as a kid, like tell her that it's bad for him and he's getting headaches and stomach aches from. But he gives up on the fight. He says, "All right, Ma, you win. I don't feel like arguing. I'll do it, pop it, gobble it, and start wobbling. Stumble, hobble, tumble, slip, trip. Then I fall in bed with a bottle of meds and a Heath Ledger bobblehead." I think it's a great, yeah, that's a great way to end the verse. And I think he doesn't have to put on an accent to like have all these like similar sounding words, or to make them sound similar, come all together. So that I like. Then there's Insane, which a pretty quick track. I think one of the shorter ones on here where he's just being really fucked up. He's just being really, really fucked up. Some of the most fucked up things he said in any of his songs. So good for him. He's like really showing, hey, I'm back, I'm crazier than ever. And it kind of makes sense because it feels like back in the day when you were like really shit on people, it was a big deal. And even in the 5 years since he came back, it's not as much of a big deal. So Eminem kind of like, you really have to kind of go hard. I mean, maybe if you do it in a certain way, you just say, oh, feminists, ooh, in a rap song, people would get mad, or you talk about black people or whatever, BLM. But if you're just like, I'm gonna fuck you in your skull, I'm gonna cut open your head and fuck you in the brains, it's basically what Eminem's doing right here. No one would get mad. That's not a specific thing to get mad. But yeah, this first verse was just going on and on about his dad fucking him. And then he's like hung himself, but his mum doesn't believe him. Go fuck his brains out if there's any in his head. Yeah, pretty messed up. I love the second verse. I think the second verse here, I mean, it's again like painting a picture, but a pretty fucked up one about I think about himself. Like it's Slim Shady, but he's rapping about himself and like he saw him, and he's just talking all this shit like, well, I just got fucking chased up with a chainsaw. Then he took the chainsaw, bit the fucking blades off. Hang on. Ate the blade, stuck a baseball in a slingshot. Then he aimed it at his own face, let the thing pop, took his eye out, picked it up and played ping pong. Then he played ping pong with his own ding dong. That motherfucker's got nuts like King Kong. Maybe one of my favorite verses on this whole album. And it is kind of him just talking shit about, not braggadocious really, like talking his persona up and how fucked up it is. But at least it's a kind of, it does really remind me of Slim Shady on the first out Slim Shady LP, not Infinite. On Slim Shady LP, where he would like spend like a whole verse going on about like the one story about like, yeah, this happened, and then this happened, and this fucked up thing happened, and yeah, how badass is that? Oh yeah, I don't really like some of the later stuff going on in verse 3. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't strike me as funny or anything. I do like, oh god, this is really fucked up. When he's talking about felching beginning. That's great. Can you dig what I'm saying, man? Can you smell me? I want you to feel me like my stepfather felt me. Fuck a little puppy, kick the puppy while he's helping. Shady, what the fuck you saying? I don't know, help me. Oh man, yeah. He goes hard on this track. Trying to what else can you say? He's just trying to be offensive. I guess it's working, but he's also being funny and being a lyrical, spiritual craftsman there. And then, skipping that bagpipes from Baghdad. Hello is one of the least ugly songs because there's like not as much going. It's like kind of a kick back. I think there's a kick drum in the fucking thing. It's a bit loud, but kind of mostly just a guitar or a bass. Oh, I don't know. Just going on very simply. So it's kind of one of the more musical moments on the record. And there's something, by the way, I think the album like flows pretty well in this like first half. I mean, kind of going from like, horrorcore to like fucked up songs, and then this here, which is like has a sense of menace, but really it's kind of a bit more of a melancholic song from what I remember. He's just kind of singing about drugs, singing about alcohol, but kind of how it's got to all go away. It has all gone away. It's a bit of a melancholic song about, and somewhat like, somewhat inspirational, but it's a good inspirational song from Eminem. It's not like the kind of crap that he was doing. Actually, the crap that he was kind of doing next year. I mean, I shouldn't say crap because like I skipped Relapse, but I listened to Recovery and I really liked Recovery. Looking back on it now, though, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about that one in a future thingy. I don't know. Recovery's quite good as well, but that was the point where he started making fucking gym music, where he's like, "Yeah, you gotta get up, gotta show them." I mean, that's basically dad rap, right there. I guess this must have been encapsulated by the surprising success of his non-single song "Till I Collapse," which was released it was released on the Eminem Show in 2002, but then saw a lot of success because it was used in a Call of Duty ad in 2009. It's the same year that this album came out. So that following year, him feeling like, yeah, man, I'm on top of the world, I'm running, I'm going up the mountain, I don't need drugs anymore, I'm taking care of my family, I'm doing weights, I'm a wrestler now, I'll show you, I'm gonna fuck you up, honky. That's kind of how Eminem got, and I don't know, I'd rather have, I miss the old Eminem. But yeah, Hello is a good song, Like pretty much all these songs in the first half are good. I would say they're good. They have their problems maybe, but they are good. Next up though, we have a skit, whatever. Same Song and Dance, I fucking love. I love this song. This is my favorite, I think, off the album. I think when this song came on, and when I heard it the first time, I was like, I really fucked up on this album. I'm glad I listened to this song, because this is great horrorcore, and the music is not ugly. I love the music in this. Maybe there's like a clapping going on. It's a bit too loud. Fucking hell, who mixed this album? But I actually wish I could remix this album. Like, I wish I had the stems that I could try and do it myself, maybe, and bring down those claps and those snares here and there. But or remove them or replace them. But this song is fucking great. A very, very menacing horrorcore sound where he's just very much playing a guy who's I guess it's some shady persona who is just so caught up in the murdering and kidnapping women. I think the lyricism in this song is pretty fucking excellent. Being able to really rhyme quite a lot and bring it all together, and also making, as I was saying, like each verse has a story. It's its own contained story. It isn't just like going from one thing to the other and like getting completely off track. He's very on track on this song, at least, with each verse. But even like across the whole song, how he's kind of talking about it. Not talking about being fucked up, just being fucked up. Not even talking about it. But this second verse, which I'm kind of looking through, I think he's just rapping so much with just the one kind of syllable of sound, which I suppose would rhyme with cunt. But that's, yeah, pretty much all the way to the end, and kind of insinuating that he's going after big movie stars, or not big movie stars, but like big kind of teenage hits. Like, not that they're teenagers anymore, but like they were a big success with them, like, Britney and Lindsay back in the day. I really like the third verse, where he's kind of getting a bit introspective, talking about how he's feeling like this pop star, as he's saying, it's like the way that she moves and how she flirts and everything kind of brings up the murderous feeling that he has, which I relate to. But I love what's these lines here? I lashed out in my songs, but what was really going on was that I developed a crush. I just didn't know how to tell it to her. Should I cut off one of my ears and mail it to her? Send her pictures of my collection of skeletons, or footage of me impaling myself on an elephant tusk? We'll settle this once and for all. I'ma tell her at dusk. And then I could just go on the whole fucking verse. Maybe I will. Oh, God, I have to. Ever since a schoolgirl, juvenile delinquent, I've been feeling you, ooh, girl, you sexy little gal. You hold that pill any longer, it'll get sentimental value. Come on, toots, give me the Valium, alley-oop. I'll slam dunk it in your mouth till you puke. And just as soon as you pass out in your alphabet suit, I'm about to make a new outfit out of you. New outfit, shit, I'll make a new suit out of you. So that's some great stuff right there. That's some nice little lyricism, lyrical, spiritual. Yeah, I really like that song, and I think it actually sounds great. But you know what? That's kind of the end. That's kind of the end of. I shouldn't say the end of the good stuff, because we have "We Made You" after Medicine Ball. Medicine Ball's pretty good, but fuck me, is it kind of overbearing? Maybe that's appropriate because it's kind of, another horrorcore track. Wait, no, I think I'm getting the lyrics confused. I don't know what that song's about. Probably nothing. I do remember it having that Christopher Reeves bit in it. But I think the Stay Wide Awake, that's a good one. I don't like the chorus that much. The chorus sounds very stock and like kind of, Eminem, why are you singing? But that's a good one too, where he's rapping about getting into the details of his killing, like how he doesn't want to use guns. He doesn't want to shoot someone. No, he wants to get up close and personal. He wants to like just about do it with his bare hands, or get out his like tools and his tricks and everything. So I reckon that's good. I feel like maybe Stay Wide Awake, if that was after, oh no, We Made You. I don't know. Now, okay, this is at the point where like the sequencing of the songs gets a bit fucked up and kind of just goes from one thing to another. Like Same Song and Dance and We Made You. And it really fucking reminds me of On Recovery, where there's one song, White Trash Party, where like, oh, it's a white trash party. It's a fun song. And then, like, it immediately goes into the next song, which is about, like, Eminem, like, bereaved over the death of his Proof and, like, having a drug overdose. And it's a really heavy-going, emotional song. The first time I heard that album, I was like, what kind of... This is really jarring tonally. Do you even think about, like, one song after the other? Anyway, then Old Time's Sake, which has kind of got, like, a Dre beat to it. I mean, Dre is on the song twice. I don't care about Dre. He just comes on and he's just, I'm Dre, back in the day. Oh yeah, and WA. Yeah, this is about my life. Put an AK in your mouth. Not really particularly fussed about that. And I'm really not fussed with... I mean, that's... Old Time's Sake is kind of like about smoking weed, I guess. It's kind of about doing drugs. And then you have... Maspida Ganja. That's supposed to be like the weed song. But then that kind of isn't entirely about weed. So this is where like the whole Eminem getting off track is kind of starts coming through. You start thinking maybe he is smoking weed. Well, I guess he wasn't, but sure sounds like he was. The second verse ain't bad, but it is a complete like mismatched tone. Like, is this a pro weed song? Is this like, yeah, weed? Or is it horrorcore? Because again, he gets back into the raping and slaying women. And the music is also ugly, not too overbearing, aside from a really neat, really loud snare. Of course it would be. Of course it would be. Anyway, from what I've wrote, because I don't remember these songs, but Medicine Ball had some particularly offensive lyrics. Nothing particularly special about that song, but the offensive lyrics are fun. They can be fun. It's just... Yeah, again, it sounds a bit like a bit of a practice song, but he's practicing well. But again, like the album kind of goes in the middle here. It takes a long time for it to get back up. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck else is there? I barely even remember this shit. Okay, maybe around about here, because Deja Vu is a good one. I like Deja Vu when he's Eminem contemplating his addiction without being entirely unhumorous, kind of having a bit of a jab at himself in a funny but kind of sad way, because he's looking at it as well through the perspective of his daughters. He does a lot of that throughout the song, and kind of how he just thinks, oh man, I'm a bit fucked up. So it doesn't... There's plenty of good lines in the track, and it sounds like he's being funny, but it's covering up his sadness. So the lyrics, yeah, it's a funny and sad song at the same time, and he's kind of holding back on the emotion, not just like amplifying it, being like, oh, the fucking beautiful, making it sound like it's a long recurring problem. Like he's like, oh, this whole thing again. Well, this time I gotta cut it out. But yeah, I like this track, and musically not so bad as well. I'm not sure really what to say about the music. I can't get deep into that. But I like it. You know what? If this had been released as a single, I wouldn't have been like, fuck this album before listening to it. if Same Song and Dance had been released as a single, again, fucking singles. I mean, it doesn't matter now in the Spotify era, but I had Spotify for the past 7 years and I never listened to this. It's funny that gets followed up with Beautiful. And I would say, at this point, the sequencing of the tracks is better now. We're at a bit of a more steady, we're at a steady pace, or at least a pace that makes sense. And Beautiful, I think, is inferior in terms of being humorous, or the kind of lines, or the overall, I don't know, theme of this track. I guess they work well together, but, Beautiful is maybe 2.5 minutes of good material. I could listen to all of Deja Vu. It's fine with me. There isn't Eminem just going whoa at the end of the track. Why you gotta make this song an extra 30 seconds long of you just going doopa. Then you Crack a Bottle. I talked about that. Not so great. I think it kind of works at the end of the album. I mean, I like the album, but it kind of fits. Oh, I wish it had better lyrics. I wish Eminem could just kind of like what he did on Hello, kind of be a bit crack the last bottle, or not even crack the last bottle, but be done with drugs and everything. But he's kind of just talking about himself, rapping about himself. Yeah, and then we get to Underground, the ending track, which I think really kind of rounds off the album very well. It kind of with this, as I say, in terms of sequencing, starts off well. Gets really in the middle, and then manages to just about form itself back together again in the end. So good on it for that, win whatever. I do like this underground song. This track, which is called Underground, about him, sounds like he'd be like, yo, I'm underground, yo, down the street, underground hip hop, yeah, represent 96. No, this is underground, I guess, being that he was buried, but has come back from the dead. A lot of good horror references, in particular all the horror movies, because he starts getting into them and talking about how he beat up all these horror movie characters at the end of the track, which is a lot of fun. He does well with the lyricism on this track, apart from the last line. I forget what it was. It's what that didn't round off the song or the verse or the fucking album. This is the last line in the album. I mean, I guess there's a Ken Kniff bit at the end that I don't give a shit about. He just says a bad pun and then goes, medic, this headache's awful, this anesthetic's pathetic, so is this diabetic waffle, and this prosthetic arm keeps crushing my hard taco. I don't know, it's kind of funny, I guess. I'll let it go. It's amusing. Again, getting into the whole rehab situation. No wonder I didn't know about Eminem's pill problem until 2018 or whatever, because I didn't listen to this album. But yeah, he's bringing it back in. I like that on a lot of this, particularly in this song, Eminem talks about his drug addiction. Doesn't quite go, oh, feel sorry for me. He's just throwing it in the lyrics, making it seem this did happen, but hey, this is part of my life and this is part of my lyrics. Yeah, and not bad musically. Kind of got that, what'd you call it? I don't know, a movie horror score, kind of strings. I don't know, the spooky, stringy horror music going on. I think it's appropriate. I think it works well. But I think the beats themselves across this whole album, pretty much every track, it's a bit much, man. It's a bit much. It's just being assaulted by it, for fuck's sake. But there's definitely some. I mean, with all this some pretty bad production across this whole album, and then there's some annoying vocal delivery. So really, what's the MVP here are the lyrics, and there's a lot of good lyrics. A lot of it is kind of just playing around, particularly in the horrorcore element, but also just kind of sneaking in these bits and pieces about his life and what he was going through, and kind of keeping it all assembled together. I know they say the middle part is bad, but managing to go from a track about being depressed and a drug addict, and then kind of slipping back into like, you know, singing about raping and murdering women as he does. And he goes hard, you know, so good on him for that. I don't think this really made a big fuss when it came out in terms of like offensiveness, because you know, in the 5 years since Encore, or perhaps even just before Encore, like, people just stopped really giving a shit. Like, oh yeah, you're just being edgy. People get over things. They get over these things. They get over, you know, soon enough. Like, you make jokes about the sensitive things nowadays, and hopefully 5 years from now, when you do that, people are like, you know, that's okay. I don't mind. Whatever. You're just being edgy. You're just being a prick. Whatever. It'll be a new thing. You won't be able to make fun of aeroplanes or whatever. Hey, don't make that joke about aeroplanes. My granddad was an aeroplane. Oh god, what the hell am I even talking about? Anyway, I don't know how to rate this album. I'm kind of feeling a 6, although then again, what the fuck is my even, like, my rating system? Like, you know, some people are like, oh yeah, that album's pretty good, you know, yeah, it's alright. I give it a 9 out of 10. So I don't really know how I feel. There's plenty of shit on here that I don't like. I just feel pretty conflicted. Yeah, it does sound like a bit of a 6 out of 10, because it's like, there's bad, there's good, but it's mostly good. So whoop-de-doo. I think, you know, there's certainly worse Eminem records out there. I'm sorry, Eminem. I prejudged you. Revival is your worst album. I think Relapse is... I'll just say it. It's better than... Unless I go back and change my mind. It's better than any album he released since... Apart from Kamikaze. Kamikaze was like a nice, tight, whoo, we just went, whoo, just flung it out there, and holy shit, I'm still surprised that album came out that well. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Kamikaze over Relapse here, because Relapse is just, you know, Kamikaze, I do think had better production, it sounded more modern, and ergo less annoying, I guess. This was kind of, even for 2009, the instrumentals seemed a bit outdated, seemed a bit too, like, I guess maximalistic. Like, there's just a bit too much going on in some of these tracks. It's just sounds like a chainsaw, which isn't even a sound that comes up. I'm pretty sure it does. You'd expect it to come up. Like Medicine Ball in particular, I remember just having a lot going on. But yeah. I'm sorry, Eminem. I did give the album a go, and it's a good one for the most part. I will listen to what I enjoy on this album, from this album. I think as an overall piece, it mostly works. Kind of, yeah, it's pretty cohesive. And I've already said, yeah, like it falls apart in the middle but comes back. So I don't know if I had any more notes on that. Fuck, let me check. I don't know. I don't think I really had much. I mean, I should have said before that, like, at the start of this whole fucking thing, that it seemed like Eminem even contemplated even having a fucking career in rap after Encore, and was feeling like, I don't know, I'm sick. And then he managed to shit this out, and I gotta say, like, you know, some of the good things, and then also some of the bad things, I do feel like... And I just got distracted there, because I just realized there's a lot of writers on... Like, is this for the lyrics? Man, look at this. Some of these have like 6 writers. Man, Eminem's a hack. I mean, who are these people? I actually don't know if this is to do... If writing means writing the music as well, or is that producer? I'm not sure. I don't know. Fuck it. Everyone just assumes you just write all of your own shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There's so many fucking writers. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't use them. Like Dr. Dre is like writing all over this bitch. I can't even remember what I was talking about. I don't know. But for a comeback album... Well, I mean, really, it could have had better comeback songs about like, yeah, I'm back, I'm on the track, chupa chupa, and whatever. But aside from that, it's got good horrorcore elements. It's a good throwback to the Slim Shady days. Eminem ranked it up a notch, even though it didn't work. I mean, it's not offending people, but like it gets to me the offensiveness. Sorry, I'm really cottonmouth, and and what? What the fuck was I talking about? And it's funny. There's a lot of great lines. No wonder 6 people like work on each track, because there's some cohesion here and there. And even if there isn't, there's some good lines just to break out. One good line after another, even if it doesn't like flow through too well. And then even if it doesn't flow well, or there are no good lines, well then yes, it's a bit of a shitty song. Because the accents and the production don't help. And going back to the accents, it's not as annoying. Some parts clearly, like bagpipes for Baghdad, are grating. But I think if you listen to it quite a few times, like I have, it gets less and less annoying and less noticeable. It's there. It's not quite as bad as people say, because I think it just seems worse the first time you hear it, like I did with the singles. Although not that there was that many accents in the singles, or maybe this is to do with listening to Bagpipes from Baghdad way back in the day. But just like Kendrick Lamar, you get used to the voice. Hey, compare it to Kendrick Lamar in the last dying breath of this podcast. Anyway, so that's it, bitch. As I say, certainly a mixed bag and everything, but I would, I gotta say I'd recommend it, but you gotta go through what's good and what's bad and find what's good. I mean, it's a long album. It's like 76 minutes, and I think that there are other Eminem albums, like his earlier stuff it started to get more and more, what would you say, what is it, like track for track good, like Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP. I think no skippable tracks, like you could go all the way through with those things. Eminem Show maybe had 1 or 2, maybe. Ooh, Haley's song, that's pretty fucking bad. Okay, sure. And then this one, it's like, it's certainly not as good as it was before. It still is Eminem falling off the track, but keeping himself somewhat afloat. But then he would fall off the track later on, and I give a fuck about him. Sure, I will say that. I'm a fan, not a stan, not at all. But join me next time for when we talk about, I don't know. I'm actually not sure what to talk about next. Maybe Music to Be Murdered By, which is definitely worse than this album. Or the Marshall Mathers LP2, which does not sound like an album that would be called the Marshall Mathers LP2. So fuck off, Eminem, with this bullshit. I mean, I guess he mentions it. Anyway, I'll get onto that when I get onto it. So this has been the Eminem special of the David Morgan Brown experience. And it is now 9/19, the 29th of the 12th, 2020. And this has been a longin'. Fuck me dead. Well, I never have to listen to this album ever again. Well, I guess I will with certain songs, or certain parts of certain songs. Those certain parts are good. Alright. Guess who's back?